You don't have to worry about that. Exactly, like Sage Labs late. Someone is saying in the chat.
Fake
I don't know
Yeah,
news.
why we're saying we're late.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
on time.
Like
yeah,
we're
It,
literally on time.
bro.
That
It's
that's the
almost
fact,
it,
bro.
it, it hit
Jokes
evening.
on
10
you.
a.m. It hit 10 a.m. for me, and I was in here.
Jokes on
Simple as
you.
Dom
that.
is still
Jokes
on
on you.
Reddit.
Oh man. Yeah. So how's everyone doing? We have an interesting conversation today. I see Gassiner saying that I was late in Lisbon twice. That is also a complete lie. I was on time there as well. Just gotta clean my name.
Yeah,
That's a complete lie. But yeah, how are you, Jose?
doing good, bro. Um, I think it's totally fair to say that I'm super excited for this brew today. We are dropping some lore alpha about Sage Labs, and we are going to talk about the whole of lore on the company right now and going forward. So I think it's going to be a super interesting conversation.
I think so as well. So, guys, if you're into lore, like, definitely get your notebooks ready because it's gonna be a lot of information that Jose will be sharing for sure. Right, Jose? You're not.
Absolutely, friend.
You're completely opening the lore gates here.
Bro. The gates will flood.
Okay, that is what I was expecting. Exactly. You also went rogue and created a channel, bro. Who gave you approval for that one?
Bro, I went totally rogue on that one. The people voices, they were claiming like voices in the desert for the Lord channel, and my penguin heart can't stop suffering seeing my beloved community asking for the Lord, so I had to deliver, bro. Sorry.
It's completely fine. It's completely fine. Cool. And Dominic Bain, how are you, my friend?
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Dominic Vane here. Today we're gonna be talking about lore. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I have my Red Bull on my side right now. People are gossiping about me today, which is that's fun. But no, I'm ready to have a good time on the brew today. Talk about some lore with the penguin. Let's have a good time.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get started. So, as you guys know, we said it like 3 times already, but just in case we say it again, we were going to be talking about Sage Labs lore. So we're opening the floodgates for the lore to shine um, today. So you guys will be learning a lot of what is going to be happening in Sage Labs in terms of lore. But again, like there's going to be a lot more for you to discover. I think Jose said he was close to 40 pages written of lore just for Sage Labs. Am I correct, Jose?
Yeah, I what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't want to go deep into the topic, but 35 pages of lore
Okay.
descriptions at this moment.
Well, that's actually a lot. So definitely lots of things to talk about today. But first, guys, as always, welcome to the Brew. The Brew is our weekly event that happens every Wednesday here at the Voice Chat. So every Wednesday at the same time, if you come to the Star Atlas Voice Chat, you will hear the Penguin, Dominic Bain, and Santi talking with the community about some random Star Atlas thing and just nerding out all together. So just if, in case you're new, that's what we do at the brew. And also it's open conversation, as you know, like this is the voice chat. You can basically set up your push to talk and join the conversation at any time. So anyone is welcome to just chat with us at any time during the brew. Then we use the Atlas Brew chat. So we don't use the chat that is inside the voice chat. We use the one that is called the Atlas Brew, and we are always checking out that channel and reading everything that is going on. So we'll be reading the conversation that is happening in the text chat at the same time as we speak. So you're not, in case you don't want to chat, if you don't want to speak, sorry, you can chat in there, and we'll be reading and following what there is going on in there. They're usually jokes for the hosts, but it is what it is. Um, but first, let's get started with some noteworthy news. We have the photography career contest. We had the winner of the first theme. Dom, if you can share that in the chat.
Yeah, I want to give a big congrats. Like this is for me, this is great. Like this is going to be thought of for a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. For me, anyway. So congrats to C Bryce from Unseen. I know he might be going by I think it's Ryko in Discord. So congrats to Ryko. Congrats to Unseen. It's a really good photo. Like I remember when this photo came out, I was I was nerding out hard. I sent it in the team Discord server, and we were all nerding out about how good it was. So big congrats. It's gonna be the first, technically first UGC content on the Galactic Marketplace when it's supported. So I think that's gonna be happening in um, maybe a week or two. It'll happen sometime soon, and you'll be able to support Raiko with his poster. Buy it yourself. For whatever price he puts it on the marketplace for. But I mean, as long as he's
That's
not
worth a
going to
million
Louis,
bucks, bro.
as long as he's not going the Louis Vuitton route, I'll buy it.
Oh, you're gonna be buying it, Tom?
Oh, I'm gonna buy it. Hell yeah! What?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah,
Looking
you're
more
It's
at
good.
history.
Walmart.
This is history.
I think someone wanted to say something. Jindo, was that you?
I was just saying it's going to be more on that Walmart pricing.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. We love to hear that.
Yeah, awesome. No, this is
I'm
fantastic, Raiko.
expecting $1, $2, $5. What are we
Bro,
thinking? What are we thinking?
I can do 50 right now.
No leaks.
I have $3. Take it or leave it.
$3 in a Monster Energy.
I have $3.
The opportunity of a lifetime.
$3, and I won't destroy you in game. How about that?
Oh, yeah. If I was you guys, I would be closing that deal right now.
Yeah,
Just for the
I don't
that'd
know
be
if
levels.
you
super
guys have
scary.
talked about this yet, but how many copies are going to be available? Has that been decided?
To be decided.
To be defined?
To be defined. To be decided.
defined. Yeah. Yeah. How many do you think we should do, guys? Should it be
That
only
is a
one?
good question.
Make it insanely
Whoa,
special?
whoa, whoa! Hold on,
No, one no, bro.
Come on.
Come
If
on,
it's
bro.
only one, Walmart prices are out of here.
Should we do 50? Should we do 100? How should
I,
that do?
my original thought process was like 1,000 or something.
People are saying 100.
People are saying 100.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna have to be paying some dollars.
Well, it's a special, bro. It's a special. 50, 100. Well, I think everyone just if 4 to 6.
Or
That's
just
a good supply.
6.
That's actually a good supply. That is actually a good supply. 100 or 4 to 6. We will see.
A million.
A million.
Man,
No way.
Swag, what are you talking about, man?
Come on, Sai. You buying all that for $1 each?
5 EB posters. It looks like he's doing about 24 cents for his.
Yo.
Jesus.
No way.
All right, we gotta move on. What's next?
Yeah, we have to continue moving here. We have the new topic for the photography career, right?
Oh yeah. So the new topic, yeah. That's actually a really good segue into that. So we have our new theme for the this month or this week period, few week period, and the new theme is environment. So go take your photos in the showroom, publish them to the Discord forum, and you too, you can be the second winner, and you can win the environment competition. So good luck, have fun, be safe. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and it's super easy to participate, right? You just go into the game, take a good picture. The competition is on, like there's really high quality, as you can see by the previous winner. And you just go to the showroom, take a picture, go to the gallery, and we have the API that lets you publish one per day. So you just click post on Discord, I think it says, or something like that, and it will be posted automatically to the forum Discord server. And then people will be able to upvote your piece of art. So
Literally all you have to do, go to Epic Games, launch Star Atlas, go to a patch of grass, take a picture of it. I mean, you may not win, but at least
well,
you're
you're
competing.
in. You're
You're in.
participating. It's something is something, you know. That's what we say in Argentina.
Dom
Uh,
sounded like a used car salesman. Gotta get a $1, $2.
no way.
Jesus Christ.
No, we have to continue moving after that. We also launched something together with Drip, right, Dominic Bain?
Yeah, yeah. So we launched something with Drip, and there's actually a lot of people who thought it was a scam when we first launched it or announced it on
Bruh.
Discord. They said it was sus. You know what? That's fair. I honestly like it was just like in the announcements channel. It was just, hey, you want some cool collectibles? Click this link. So
Not catchy.
Yeah. Want to get scammed? Click this broken link.
so
Bro,
I'm here to
you
tell
gotta
you.
trust us a little bit, guys, on
Here
that
to
one.
tell you guys. I'm here to tell you guys. It is not a scam. It is not sus. Drip is it basically what Drip is they collaborate with artists and they drop the artist's work to a bunch of people. You subscribe to them on this website for free, and you get free digital collectibles. So it's kind of the same thing with us. We're collaborating with a few artists on Drip, and they're going to be dropping some Star Atlas artwork. All you have to do is subscribe to them when we tell you who it is. I think DGen Poet was our first one. I'm curious to see if anyone here actually got the legendary because I didn't. You know,
Me neither, man.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but it's looking pretty cool. He's I think typewriter artist, and what he did for Sir Atlas actually looked really cool. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Um, but it's super cool. Here it is. And yeah, we're having more. We're collaborating with more artists from Drip that will be launching exclusive Star Atlas stuff in there, and it's pretty cool. Like by subscribing to them, you not only get access to the Star Atlas stuff, but you also get access to everything else that Drip is doing. You just also got to subscribe to the specific artist as well, and they do some cool collaborations. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. I will definitely subscribe. And also, it's not open for everyone. Like you need to get the code, and that's why we had that link for the Star Atlas community exclusive. So yeah, pretty cool.
Gotta be a core memory.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was a scam. It's fine.
It was an exclusive code, and people were thinking it was a scam, bro. Sad.
It's because the link was broken was the biggest problem. Everybody
Yeah,
clicked it and then this shit didn't work. Like, what happened?
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
it ended up working.
Yep.
It ended up
We had
working
to
at the end.
recalibrate. We had to come back next time.
Yeah,
Mission failed. We'll get him next time. Came back
yeah.
the next day.
Cool. But let's continue moving. We have next week the community updates brew. Those are incredible brews, and we didn't have one last month. So there are a lot of updates that will be coming from Star Atlas community projects. So make sure, guys, to click as interested, to mark as interested in the event that we just shared in the Atlas Brew chat, because it's gonna be epic. I'm sure a lot of projects will be having updates. And also, if you have any project that you're building for the Star Atlas community or using the Star Atlas IP, it's literally the perfect moment to advertise yourself to the Star Atlas community and just show the cool things you have been working on. So if you want to be part of the next show, if you want us to save a slot for you and your project, please make sure to DM me or Dom, and we'll get you one slot in the show.
And for
And
everyone else, even if you're not a builder or you don't have like anything with IP, listen, we're all a family. Come support. We'd love to have everyone show up for all the people building. It's good for everyone. So hope everyone joins next week.
yeah, it's important to support the builders and creators in the community. So yeah, it's important for everyone to show up. So yeah, make sure to mark us interested. I'm gonna share the link again here in the chat, in the Atlas Brew chat, and make sure to mark us interested so you don't miss the show. We will probably also have a never alone code, so you don't want to miss that as well. Make sure to come. And let's continue moving, guys. Let's go to the main topic now. So, Jose, the main topic today is your day to shine, Jose. You know how this is, bro. We're gonna be talking about Sage Labs lore, and as we said, we're just gonna be opening the alpha gates for everyone in terms of what is gonna be in there. Of course, we're not gonna be able to share everything, and we want to keep some surprises for you guys as well. But Jose, right at the beginning of the brew, you were telling us that there's already over 35 pages of lore written for
Yeah,
Sage Labs.
yeah, exactly, bro. Um, the lore of Sage Labs right now lies on the descriptions of the outer ring of Gaia Expanse, meaning that I'm sharing a general description of how the safe zones and outer medium risk zones systems in Star Atlas looks like. And my objective here is to give you guys a feeling of how the universe of Star Atlas plays out. You can imagine this as watching the map of Lord of the Rings, of Fire Room, or of the Star Wars galaxy, and starting to see the first materialization of how the universe that we have been building so far looks like. And this is also a special moment for me because now you guys will be able to start making the connections of everything that we have been dropping so far in terms of lore. So, for those of you who have been reading the Atlas Stars or followed the Lieutenant Wen adventures, you guys will be seeing lots of familiar places, familiar characters, and connecting dots on how the universe progresses and looks like in reality. And this makes me super excited.
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, but also I know we had this for later, but also with Near Alone, right? Jose,
Yeah. You,
I
you
had to say that.
spoiled, yeah, one of the things that's going to be entertaining. But if you pay attention, guys, to the lore of Never Alone, on Sage Labs, you'll be able to figure out all the places and adventures that Sand had so far in the galaxy.
Yeah,
And speaking of Never Alone, it's heavily intertwined with the lore of Sage Labs. And we are going to talk a little bit about that, but I feel that Sage Labs and Never Alone are a very strong mix in terms of immersion, in terms of gameplay. I feel that it opens up the doors for very interesting game mechanics that will make Sage Labs even more entertaining. We'll talk about that later.
nice, 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 nice. So I think we can get started here, Jose, with like from the basics. So big picture. What is Sage Labs lore about? Like, what are we gonna be learning while we're
Please
playing?
explain like I'm five. Explain like I'm
Yeah,
five.
explain like I'm five.
So yeah, Sage Labs is the gates of the story of the medium and safe zone in Star Atlas. So basically, what you guys are going to learn is the overreaching uh, narrative of how each one of the factions expanded through Galia Expanse and how the geopolitical world of Galia Expanse looks like right now. So, for example, you guys will learn about how the mud uh, created many different colonies in the medium risk zone, and how the collapse of the mud welfare after the Convergence War caused those colonies to become small factions inside the Star Atlas world, each one with their own agenda, objectives, and military forces, economics, and religions. And every single one of them is a player inside Gaia Expanse in terms of lore. So the world of Star Atlas will grow significantly in terms of complexity with Sage Labs. I mean, right now we had like three main factions. We had the Jarvik, we had the Ecos, we had the Tufa, we had Photolis, Rainbow. Now there will be a lot more groups that you guys will at least hear about in Sage Labs. You guys will learn that some where those groups lurks in Star Atlas Galaxy. Like for example, you guys will learn about crime syndicates. You guys will learn about exotic worlds and galaxies, and all of these will be discoverable through navigating through Sage Labs. Like whenever you reach a new uh, star system, a new sector, you learn this sector story, and uh, you guys will see how everything connects with the overreaching lore of Star Atlas, and they will also give you hints about the things that will happen in the future of Star Atlas. So I think it's pretty exciting.
How much are we gonna learn about the Punabs, Jose? That is the real question, bro.
That's the real question, right? Man, the Punabs in Sage Labs, you guys will learn about, first of all, their homeworld sector, where Akanaf, the Punab's main world, lives. And you see how the different branches of Punabs colonize different worlds. And there are two star systems that are uh, that very clearly describes how the different branches of Punabs works, and it's going to be something very interesting. And this is also tied with, for example, the lore of Lieutenant Wen. So, for example, you guys will learn about the group of Punabs that ended up going to the high risk zone and got stranded on Gerio in the very early days of Star Atlas lore. I think it's time that you guys will start seeing how things connect, which I think it's very exciting. But each one of those systems, they have potential to be entirely novels on themselves. Like I could go on very specific systems, but yeah, I think I'll probably go in a habit hole here if you
Yeah.
guys let me.
Jose,
Uh,
I actually
Yeah,
want to know about one too. What about the Miris?
the Miris. Yeah, the Miris lore is that the one of the most important sectors in the Oni space, in the Oni safe zone, is the Miris homeworld, which is called Neono, which is a living planet. And there is the origins or the story of Neono for for how it came to be, or the theories around how it was created and constructed. And then, if you read about the lore of the other sections of the Oni faction, you see that the Miris, they were not. Uh, it's not their main purpose to dominate space. You know. For example, let's go to the Mud. The Muds, they have a they are very territorial. They like to create. They like to conquer planets. They build bases. They build societies. And the Miris, in other hand, they are more like bards and adventurers, and uh, they like to live freely. So there is a very different culture among those factions. And the map of Sage Labs shows this directly. You know, like when you see a photography of the mud space, you guys will see that the muds try to conquer every single territory under their influence. When you go for the Usturs, for example, they didn't have a very aggressive colonization approach to the planets, and power and that had consequences in the lore of Star Atlas. So, guys, you see that the mud space, for example, there's very strong institutional powers inside the mud space. Like the ex-colonies of the muds, they are trying to gain power and relevance to become one of the main factions in the world of Star Atlas. In the Ustur space, due to this posture of being, let's say, not so aggressively in conquering territory and making sure that everyone follows their orders, lots of small groups start appearing, some very evil ones, and yeah, you guys
In the
will
Oosters?
see. Yeah, in the Ulster's
Evil,
territory.
evil Oosters, you mean?
There is one group in Galia that you could call them evil Ulsters. I will, and they are one of my favorite
That's
minor
Dark Atlas,
factions.
bro.
The one of the minor factions that I created. They are super fun, actually. I think you guys are going to enjoy them. But
Confirmed, or is that theory crafting?
On the spot. Oh.
Give it
I
to me,
mean,
bro.
I mean, bro, you guys will see in Sage Labs.
I tried.
Yeah. It was
But
just one
yeah,
question, bro.
yeah,
You
there
did
are
just
there are Oosters, there are Oosters that have broken up with the elders' conscience. You know, they left the Ulster order. They have their own views on how the Ulster should be. And if you are looking from the Ulster point of view, they are evil. They are outright evil. And the elders of the Ulsters, although they kept a posture of not intervening on that planet, on that sector, they have been thinking strongly about going after them because they are starting to mess up and spreading their ideology to other Usurs.
Jose.
Mm.
Jose. Musachary is asking in the chat if the evil Oosters are the ones who failed the ascension
The
phase.
evil Usturs, they renegated the Ascension, you know? And this is something that's very strong in the Ustur culture because they felt that the Ascension is a mechanism of control by the Ustur's elders. And
Oh.
yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because this is actually a heavy lore plot in terms of things that will play out in the future. But those Oosters, they renegade feelings, emotions, and most of all, they renegade the idea of enlightenment. They have a different commitment, uh, different objectives, and they will surely clash with the Ooster order. And aside from the factions, aside from groups, like for example the Celestial Surveyor Syndicate, which is a group that appears that is dedicated for archaeology, in Gallia Expanse they are faction neutral. There are lots of crazy sectors
Wait,
that
what was that name, Jose, again?
the Celestial Surveyor Syndicate. It's a group of it's a neutral group in Gallia that accepts people from every single faction, and they what they do is simply go from sector to sector to do archaeology. You know, they're like an archaeologist guild that expands throughout all Gallia expanse, trying to figure out what happened to the empires that were alive in the period previous to the current factions, and most of all, trying to figure out the reason why the high risk zone is inaccessible today.
Wow.
But
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna be waiting for them in the high risk zone, bro. I'm gonna be stealing everything. All
yeah,
the knowledge. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and that's no, you touched a very good point because on the 35 pages of descriptions that I did, what I did was I simply highlighted what exists in each one of the sectors of Galia Expanse if you look from the very far outside. But if you want to go vertical on each one of those institutions, I feel that I would have another 35 pages of content just to describe what they do, how they were formed, what are their agenda, who are the important characters inside those groups, you know? So that's like this huge universe that's brewing right now in Sage Labs. Right now, we are having a horizontal view of everything, and as the game development progress, we are going for a vertical approach on each one of those sectors, on each one of those systems. And yeah, this is the most exciting part for me.
So Jose, tell me a little bit about the Onis, bro. The best faction.
Bro, Dionys. When you look at Dionys space in terms of lore, what you see is the different how the different species inside the Oni progressed until the Oni consortium was formed. So I'll give you a small spoiler since
Yeah, I
you
deserve
are
it, bro.
yeah
I deserve it.
since I'm biased because I love you. Uh, the Sogmians, for example, in the when you look at the Sage Labs map, you learn about the story of how the Sogmians noble houses were formed, and then you learn about one major event in the Sogmian lore where one of the leaders of the Sogmian species, let's say like an emperor or the head of the Sogmian entire race, they have their own name for that, so I won't spoil that just now. He tried to do a coup d'etat and overthrow the system of the noble houses by hoarding power all within himself. And his philosophy was that the rules, the moral rules, the Sogmian vows, as they are called for the Sogmians, they only apply to Sogmians. So in a way, for example, if a Sogmian had an encounter with a mud or with an Ustur or any other sentient species, that other species didn't have any rights as sentient species. So you could basically do anything that you wanted. And there were even cases where members of this guy's sect, he belonged to the Akalma noble house in the Sogmians, that those guys were doing, they were literally eating members of others sentient species, you know? They were cannibals, they dealt with slavery, and there was a huge war between the Sogmians, and those guys got exiled. So when you go through the Labs map and you go to the star systems where these battles happened, you learn about this lore. You learn about Vega, which was that guy in the Sogmian, and his fall. There's an entire sector in Sage Labs that's called Vega Fall due to this situation. And
Wow.
there you learn about this lore.
Wow.
And the same logic applies to every other great story of great battles, great engagements that happened in the Star Atlas Galia expanse.
Jose,
You
someone shared Paradise Phantom shared a great idea in the chat. He said
what? Let's
he said it would be cool to see a color coded map of control based on the different races and
man,
organizations.
that's a really cool idea, and I think you guys in the community can do this real quick. You know, once you guys visit every star system and learn the lore of all of them. Yeah, I think this would be something very very cool. And I was reading again trying to count here, but I think you guys will learn about 20 new groups inside Galia through Sage Labs lore, you know? Like it's going to be a huge lore background for things that you can start imagining because those things they will appear at some time in the future. Michael,
What is
what the
Michael
hell,
saying
bro?
about you in the
Bro,
chat, bro?
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not sure
But
about that. Have you ever ate
yeah,
penguins?
no, bro. Penguins are cool people. But yeah, another cool stuff just to give you guys an idea of the crazy stuff that I'm cooking for Sage Labs. There's an entire sector in Sage Labs which is ruled by an AI intelligence that belonged to an empire that was before the time of the current factions. And what happened was that that civilization was simply collapsed. No one knows why so far, but the civilization vanished, and the AI felt that it was its fault that this happened. So the AI, it was programmed to protect the civilization, safeguard them. The AI thought that the only way to attune for its sins was to revive the civilization. And the AI started doing shady deals with an organization that you guys will learn during your expeditions in Sage Labs to try to find a way of bringing their people back to life. So the AI started acquiring items from the high risk zone of Gallia, and it tried to develop a way of reanimating that civilization. So far, the AI didn't have any success on doing so, but it seems that like the latest thing that I wrote about it in Sage Labs that you guys can learn is that rumor says that this AI managed to create one revived being. And the reason I'm telling this plot to you guys is that because this at some point in the future might develop into a gameplay loop or an incursion or something that we can do inside the Star Atlas universe to learn more about the background of the game. And I feel that this can create massive stories for you guys in terms of exploring the limits of Galia Expanse. When you guys find exotic ingredients in the high risk zone that that can be traded or that can be consumed by factions in the medium risk zone in exchange for other goods, this opens up billions of possibilities for us. And that's what gets me excited because lore gives a kind of meaning that's different from economic utility. And players who feel like they want to make a difference in Star Atlas universe, they might choose to make things that are meaningful for the lore of the game instead of being meaningful in terms of economic utility. So maybe if you are hardcore enough, maybe if you embrace one of the star systems of Gallia and you say, man, I want to advance this system, I want to solve the problems that the population, that the lore of this system presents, maybe you can even go as far as writing your own name in the lore of the game. And I have hundreds of plots like this one that I just shared with you guys, and they are spread across the map of Sage Labs. The cool part is that Sage Labs only undercoat has 51 star systems. But when we go to the high risk zone, and when we go deeper into the what would be the medium risk zone, you guys will see that things start getting even more wild. Like as you go deeper into the map of Sage Labs, if you start walking towards the center, you guys will see that the lore of the systems it starts changing. It goes to the wild stuff like this AI, and there's a good lore reason for that because Iris influences the Star Atlas universe. And the closer that you get to Iris, the more you feel its influence. And that's very apparent in the lore of Star Atlas. And that's what I want to get you guys excited about. I want the exploration of this universe, the lore, the stories, and the hardships that you guys will encounter. It will be translated in the Star Atlas lore. And yeah, I think that's a good time to make a break, because I have been talking by myself for a while.
We let you go
Sorry, guys. Yeah,
to the
sorry.
rabbit hole,
I get
Let
Giuseppe.
this man
excited.
let this man cook, man.
Yeah, let him
I get
cook.
excited.
Yeah, sip of water. People are asking for it.
He
People are
said
asking
it.
Ah,
for it in the
He
chat.
said the thing.
Yeah, I have to. I have to. I feel like responsible if
yeah,
Giuseppe
no.
gets dehydrated. It's my responsibility as a host for the guests. Well, co-host in this case, to not be dehydrated. It's important.
Yeah, hydration is paramount.
Even better if it's a beer. I'm joking. Water, always water.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, the Sage Labs is full of references for the future in terms of lore. And we are not even talking about the planets. I mean, some of the planets they appear when they are very relevant for that sector or star system story, but that's another layer of narrative that will develop through time. And I feel that this is also something that will help us a lot on creating the quests, creating the careers in the game, creating rare resources that can only be found in certain planets and under certain conditions. I feel that the lore will drive this this sort of gameplay environment. Like for example, if you want to be a cook, if you want to be a chef in Star Atlas, by reading the planet lore, you might uncover some secrets. Like when you see the star system's lore description that I'm creating, you guys will see that there are some planets that are good hunting spots in some star systems, or there's a hunter guild over there. So maybe a chef can find some special ingredients uh, on that system. And those are hints that we can work around in the future. Game design will govern how this is going to play out, but my mission is to give them a good background so that they can build up uh, using this as foundation. And yeah, this is super exciting. I feel this will play really well with what those guys are cooking in terms of careers. And this also adds something very interesting for the police lovers and political game. Uh, you know, I feel this is going to be super cool.
Yeah, the new Master Chef.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just what if we take some questions? Maybe the community is curious about something
Sure,
about the lore.
sure. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, guys, do you have any questions? Could be about any species, right? Just
Species,
read.
sectors, or anything you guys want to know. I'll try my best to answer.
Jose,
Uh,
I got a question for you, bro. I really
sure.
do.
Should it?
What's the most interesting line of lore out of all the planets in the Sage Labs?
Jesus, that's a hard question. Hmm.
In your opinion.
Yeah. Hmm.
Everything that is Oni.
Let's see. Well, one place that I like a lot in Sage Labs is the Nebula Utopia. Uh, the Nebula Utopia is a system that's governed by the Prince Merchants of Star Atlas. They are a group of the richest individuals in the galaxy, and they created like their golden paradise inside this sector. And to even enter the planet, you need to be invited by one of the prince merchants. And they create a caste system where you can only go so far inside the planets of that system uh, until the barriers of the caste that you belong with. The workers of the system, they can only stay inside the planet during their work shift hours. When they end, they must leave and they go to a planet next to the main planet of the star system to sleep and do whatever they want, and they can only come back during their working hours. And the system, there are a few of those merchant princes, and their game is to plot against each other under the cover of dark. They are super rich, and what they do is that they try to play galactic chess between each others, trying to gain influence or trying to move how things works in the medium risk zone. So this is a very interesting system for me, and I think the players will have lots of fun trying to get on the good side of the prince merchants or trying to fighting them or doing something like this. I think this is one cool system.
Nice, nice. I see a couple good questions. A guy asked Swagme. He says a guy named Swagme is asking when breeding.
Yeah, I see Slicer asked a question about this as well. There is miscegenation between sentient beings in Star Atlas. There are hybrids, if we can say it like that. Um, there is actually a very important character in the Star Atlas lore that uh, that that's a hybrid, but I feel that Danny would kill me if I give you guys more information on that.
Okay.
Uh, will pies
Where do new oysters come from?
they the Ulsters they come from the same origins, but there was an event in the Ulsters lore that made them break apart from the main branch of Ulsters. Let's say it like that. They are still Ulsters, but they they move it to another system. So and they break their connection with the Ulsters collective conscience.
Okay.
Uh, One thing that Atlas Theory is asking: will Paizo's story be the saddest in Star Atlas lore, or are you going to make us all cry? Paizo's story is the saddest story in Star Atlas so far, in my opinion. Um, it's something that you guys will learn in a very specific work. But yeah, the story of yeah, it's a beautiful story, but it's very very sad. It's the it's the greatest tragedy that ever happened in our galaxy. As you guys know, the Sogmians were nearly wiped out of existence during the events of the Convergence War, and Paizo's story is heavily tied to that. So are the Tufa lore as well. There is a huge influence of the Tufa in that particular story. So yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about this as well for now.
People are asking if you creating non-humanoid creature mythology.
Non-humanoid creature mythology. Hmm. I have created a bunch of non-humanoid creatures. They will appear in Sage Labs, some of them. Uh, One of them is particularly tied with this topic, but yeah, this is also something to discover in the future.
You're dissing Jose.
I need you,
Way
right?
there. A little bit here and there.
Uh,
Uh,
Sheldon asking an interesting question. When you say collective conscience, does the Ulster can naturally communicate with each other as a group? It doesn't work quite like that, but yeah, I mean this will be answered in the future through core. So I won't spoil what Tim has been cooking, but not quite like that. It's yeah, you guys will see.
yeah, steady, Jose.
Yeah. People ask me why you keep dancing around Tufa stuff. Could we ask you anything lore wise? Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you something then, because I never say anything about the Tufas. And when you guys learn the lore about Tufas, you guys will understand why I'm keeping quiet about them. Um, One interesting thing about the Tufa is that they exert influence in Galia. Even though they are not appearing right now, they are exerting influence over Galia. And yeah, I see Michael is
Don't fall for
sending
it.
passive aggressive gifts right now, so I'll be quiet here. But
There ain't nothing passive about that aggressiveness.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
destroying a computer, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, that you got your answer, guys. That's why I can talk about Tufa. It's going to be worthwhile in my opinion. So just sit tight for a little while.
Yeah. What else? What else? Yeah, Tufa is top secret. White Mane is asking if there will be language barriers. Will Anuster be able to see communication between two moons?
Uh, right now there is a common language in the galaxy. I'm sure that this can become a thing in the future, as uh, especially when you're talking about high risk zone exploration. There will be ancient languages that you guys might find in some places of civilizations that no longer exists in Galia. But yeah, there will be things tied to languages, not necessarily in the near future, but yeah,
Cool. So for now, we all talking English.
it's not English in the Star Atlas universe, but it's a common language.
Yeah. Let's see. Are there any other questions? I see one, but you probably can't answer this one, Jose. The one
Which
from
one?
Damien.
Which one? I
How do Tufa procreate?
no, that's far from my what I'm allowed to share.
I'm reading the chat right now.
Yeah, we are speaking Dungeons and Dragons common, something like that for sure.
Common. If two asteroids hit in the cataclysm, does a Tufa pop out? That's how
Yes,
they are born.
yes, that's exactly how it is. VB is asking about manufacturer's lore. Yes, there is especially one manufacturer that plays a heavy role in Sage Labs. You guys will see they appearing as one of the groups with influence in the medium risk zone. Carrie also appears, but not Carrie. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. The chat.
One thing that you won't see a lot about it is the Council of Peace. Like, and there is a reason why. You guys will learn about it in the future of the lore of Star Atlas. There are, of course, some references to them, but you guys won't see territories that are owned by the Council of Peace. So don't feel weird when you don't see them. There is a reason for that.
No Council of Peace in
No,
Sage Labs?
the Council of Peace exists, but you won't be able to see like this sector belongs to the Council of Peace. No, this doesn't happen. But you guys will see some of their bases spread throughout the galaxy.
I think Bowen has a question. Uh, will it matter in Sage Labs? Probably not until later to have a fleet that is all Ecos ships in order to enter the Ecos zones and have a friendlier engagement with the NPCs.
Uh, I think this is more of a game design question, but from the lore point of view, it's all about the reputation that you build with the groups. Like, in my view, the more you do things for the ecos, the more they will like you. And vice versa. If you do things for carry, the ecos will start hating you and going after you if they find you. You know, it's about building relationships.
Okay. Okay, but that doesn't mean that in game that will apply, right?
No, not necessarily. This is game design. Hell,
When does all this lore come out? When can we read all of this? To be very
this will come out with Sage Labs. If you when you go to a sector, there will be a lore button, and you can read the lore of that sector.
nice.
I'm sorry. Am I late for the answering questions part?
No, you're fine. What's the
Thanks.
question? Is it lore related though? We're talking about lore.
No, I want to make gameplay related question.
Shoot it. You can ask it.
Okay, so when it's the game receiving an update, I understand you guys had something planned for this month, but it's almost the end of the month. Not much has happened on the launcher.
Yeah, but that for UE5 we're not gonna have updates for a while. Uh, Aiming for the end of the year for an update for UE5, and we are launching our module called Sage Labs, which is browser based for crafting and resource extraction. And we should be launching that pretty soon. No date on that yet.
No, only questions about the relevant part of the actual game itself, the 3D1, the launcher on Epic Games, really.
Well, you could see the other part as relevant depending on what you focus more on. But if for you UE5 is more relevant, that's completely fine. And no, there are no updates planned, no dates on updates for that yet. But the team is still working on it.
Okay.
Cool. Are there any extra lore questions, Jose, that you see in the chat? Do you want to answer here in the voice chat?
Uh, Mustache asked a really good question. Will we run into the Rainbow Manufacturing Home sector or the Fotoli Stronghold sector in Labs lore? Uh, yes, yes. There will be a sector under the rule of the Fotoli, or rather, you guys will see what the Fotoli influence on some sectors in Gallia. The Fotoli are low profile guys overall, you know? Like those guys, they have their own agenda and their own affairs. So the lore about them is not as direct with other species, but the wise and the guys who are paying attention, you guys will see the signs of their influence during stage labs. That was a very good question. Uh, Jarvik lore in labs, absolutely. There's lots of mentions to the Jarvik and to the Equals as well. The Equals they actually have two territories in Sage Labs that are more directly tied to them in terms of lore. The Jarvik, since they have an approach that's different, their influence is more spread and indirect. But you guys will see their touch nearly everywhere in the medium risk zone right now, to be honest. And there are some evil other factions as well, like assassins group, uh, slave traders.
Oh my gosh.
Sage, yeah, Sage
Jorvik?
Lab. Not necessarily Jarvix, no, because Jarvix have a different approach. Even though they are evil, they are a different kind of evil. Let's say it like that. Uh, and one thing that I like about Sage Labs is that it shows the light and dark, or at least that was my intention of showing the light and the darkness of this age of our galaxy. You know, like we have very beautiful stabilized planets in the safe zones of each faction, and as we go to the medium risk zone and go deeper there, you guys will see how the darkness starts getting stronger and more uh, influential, if we can say it like that, on every of this in the various sectors. Like for example, there is a colony of the Muds, the last colony of the Mud, when they were on their expansion uh, campaign towards the Cataclysm and Iris. That colony simply collapsed after the Muds fled back to their homeworlds. And what happened there is that they went on a civil war, and other groups in the medium risk zone they they started trying to get a piece of that sector. And what they do is that they keep the civil war going so that they can profit by providing weapons, getting resources, and things like that. So the sector has been on a nearly eternal war since the Convergence War. No one can solve the situation. It's pure chaos. And there are things like that, and there are other sectors where the civilizations flourished absurdly after the Council of Peace and other factions retreated from their territory. So it's going to be entertaining to see how the different groups evolved after the Convergence War.
That's interesting, Jose. One wise man once taught me the duality of life. there's no good without evil. So it looks
Yeah,
like you are portraying that in the Sage Labs lore
at least
overall.
trying.
Yeah. And I see Ray asked the question, will there be any hidden lore quests or mystery puzzles to complete in and or outside of Sage Labs?
I want to do this through Never Alone. At least at the beginning, I want to do this through Never Alone. And in the future, when we have more, maybe on Starbase on the future interactions, there will come more robust layers of uh, engagement between the lore and gameplay. But I want to use Never Alone for that.
Nice. And there's one that we talked a little bit about in the beginning that I'm not sure if we're gonna make it a quest or if we're gonna make it an actual thing. But I'm sorry, Jose, if this is a complete spoiler. But you guys will be able to know where Sand was adventuring like through the map, and you will be able to basically see the route where Sand went during Never Alone in the
Yeah,
Sage Labs
yeah,
lore,
that's
right?
that's one thing interesting. As you guys know, I always try to make all the different products in Star Atlas have a reflex on the actual in-game world. And one thing that I enjoyed doing was as I wrote the lore for Sage Labs, I started to think about the path that Sam took during his adventures. So if you pay attention while playing Sage Labs and reading Never Alone, you guys will see the places that Sam visited during his adventures. And no, Lord, the Stand Adventures is happening right now at the same period of Sage Labs. If you guys remember, it started with EV. At the beginning of Stand Adventure started with EV, and as time passed by, right now it's on the same timeline, same spot as the release of Sage Labs. Uh, one important thing, and I think that, and this is a small spoiler, Sage Labs will also share some secrets about the lore of Never Alone will also shed some light on secrets that the Sage Labs map lore doesn't disclose to you. So if you are playing Never Alone, you learn things about Galia, about the lore of the world that we see in Sage Labs that are not described there, that you discover through Sand's investigation. So, but yeah, that's as far as I'm going to say.
Mustache is asking an interesting question. Is there any lore tied in Star Atlas that is tied to or receive influence from Automata members? If so, from who and what would it be? Could you give an example?
I'll answer with an yes, but I won't give you an example because the the reference will be very clear when you reach that sector in Sage Labs. You, Mustache, you have been following the lore so far. You read everything from Lieutenant Wen. You see a very familiar character appearing. That's all I'm going to say. Torak asked a
Is it the
very
Bominic?
maybe. Sandstar is taking place the same period than Sage Labs. Will cross the Super Phoenix Sage Labs? Maybe. If you are in the right time at the right place. I'm joking. And the Super Phoenix won't appear in Sage Labs, but as soon as we add combat, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to see it.
Cool. All right, we're 6 minutes over the time, so I think it's a good moment to close. I also have to hop on another call, unfortunately, or fortunately, if AJ is listening. And Jose, anything you want to say to close?
No, I just want to thank you all for vibing with the lore with us here, and I hope that you guys find it entertaining. This is it's been super fun writing those, and I'm really looking forward to see your reactions when you learn about the 51 sectors descriptions.
Nice. Yeah, and I want to see someone mapping out where sand was all across the map. That we should probably make that a big deal, Jose. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, yeah, let's think of something cool.
Yeah, and also, guys, please remember to join the next brew, which is the community updates and more. And if you are building something for the Sir Atlas community or using the Sir Atlas IP, as always, this is the perfect place to advertise yourself or share to the community what you have been working on. If it's content, if you're a content creator and it's content, if it's an IP project using, you're selling merch or whatever you're selling using the IP, if you're starting a comic book, whatever, you just send us, me or Dom, a message and we'll get you a slot in the next brew. So it should be a lot of fun. Make sure to mark us interested, and we'll see you next Wednesday at the same time, my friends, as always. So, yeah, this was the Atlas Brew number 76, and I hope you enjoyed, and we learned a lot about the Sage Labs lore, and I'm sure as myself, people are really looking forward to learn more by exploring as well. So, thank you so much, guys, as always, for all your support and for joining. It actually really means a ton, and we love you. And I know it's sometimes it's a bit cringe, but we love you, and for real, like it wouldn't be possible without you guys. So I appreciate everyone who joins every Wednesday here. Love you all, and see you next Wednesday.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much. See you next
Much love,
Wednesday.
everybody.
Much love, guys. Bye bye.